Hola a todos. Bienvenidos al podcast de los pintores, en donde estaremos hablando de los desafíos que pasamos como una compañía hispana en la industria de la pintura. En la industria de la pintura.
Los pintores.
Spanish, throw it in there, you know. All right. Well, ¿cómo están mis amigos pintores, los pintores? Aquí estamos hoy.
Los pintores.
Yo soy Juan.
Y José.
Hoy tenemos a un invitado especial. Su nombre
Los pintores.
es Frank
Alcaraz.
Alcaraz, right?
Frank Alcaraz.
Sí, Alcaraz.
Alcaraz
Del área de que es San José.
de San
California.
Jose, y él es un general contractor. So today we have him here to basically just kind of talked about his life, how he's done in his business, what are his bigger weaknesses, strengths, and just kind of get a feel for yourself and your company.
Okay.
Frank, thank you for being with us. Can you tell us about yourself and your company? Maybe where you're originally from, how is it that you started your company, and sort of things.
Okay. I mean, like you said, my name is Frank Alcaraz. I'm from Mexico originally. I mean, from immigrant parents. The struggle as every Mexican and immigrant. I mean, we came here and we're fortunate to move to the ghettos, and that's where everything started. I mean, the struggle. I mean, being the new kid, not speak the language barrier, not speaking English, getting bullied by the peers in the class and whatnot. And then I think that's where the hunger started. You feel me? The bulliness, fuck,
Yeah.
I gotta do better. I gotta become better to not have my children struggle and have these same things that we have encountered in our lives and our journeys. But so I'm a general contractor out of San Jose, California.
Mhm.
I've been here for 7 years, but originally my roots are from Seaside, California.
Yes, sir.
And there you go. And that's where I give all my struggles. I can't wait to move back. But right now my journey is here in San Jose.
No, and you're following your journey, man. So basically, were you born in Mexico or were you born here?
No, I was born in Mexico, Hermosillo, Sonora.
Dale.
The home of the flour tortillas.
There you go, los burritos.
Sí, I didn't know that.
There you go.
Hermosillo, Sonora.
Escuché algo muy bueno. No, y sí, qué bueno. Para los que no saben, yo conozco a Frank we go back many years. This is years ago.
Yeah, almost 17
Our
years.
drinking and party days,
17 years, right?
We've put those things behind, bro. We're good. We may drink, but not party.
The wild times.
Yeah, the wild times. But I've seen you being in different industries. So when did you started construction business? Because when I met you, you weren't doing that.
Construction, I started in I want to say 2010. That's
Okay.
when I started. I mean,
What got you into it?
so here, so my thoughts came to where I wanted to build generational wealth, and
Okay.
and I mean, and that's what we're not taught in schools or in our roots. We're not trained to have anything like that. So what got me into construction is that whatever I build is going to be here longer than I am.
Okay.
So like our craft, or like for yours, painting, mine is building. I mean, all the things we do, people admire and enjoy what we do. I mean, we bring so much value to society, and I figure that's the only way I'm going to be able to bring generational wealth to what I have, what I'm building, and what I have coming forward.
Wow. See, I like that. I never
Nice.
really actually put it that way, but it makes a good sense. It makes sense. And you know what? Actually, Jose put a post on our Instagram about like what we do and how it wasn't taught in school. Like, see, our industry, it's been known as like, oh, if you're in the construction business, you're, I don't know, you're not a loser directly, but you didn't get a chance to have a career and stuff. But honestly, there's so much wealth in this industry that is very underestimated. And I think mainly that may be because most of us just worry about getting the job and not really looking at the business side of it, and that's something that it is so good to hear, because I know that's what you're looking at. I know you're looking to have the perfect craftsmanship and all these things, but at the end of the day, build something sustainable, am I correct?
No, yeah. I mean, we're raised. I mean, from when we're young, from elementary and middle school and high school, we're trained to be a 9 to 5 hour lives.
Yeah.
We're never trained to break out of that mindset. And I mean, in this trial and error, and you see you see the people that you work for succeed, and you're like, I want that. I mean, it's why can't we have it? And it takes that big leap to say, you know what, it's in my callings, it's in my journey, and let me move forward and try. It's a trial and error. I mean, every day. I mean, we're learning. It's always a learning process.
Oh yeah, that's exactly true. So I mean, you deal with more trades, right? So you deal with more. So here with us with painting, we deal directly just with paint. You deal with basically
Electrical, plumbing,
everyone in the
shit work.
trades. So you have to create more systems. You have to create more, like basically systems, on how your
Correct.
business works. How does that work for you? Because I mean, that's got to be a tough way to maintain control of everything.
Especially
Do you use like digital stuff? Do you use still the old school way? Do you use CRMs or any of that
I do.
stuff?
I mean, I do a little bit of everything. I mean, I have three virtual assistants that help me out on marketing, the CRMs, reaching out to clients, prospecting, cold calling. So I have I'm starting my own call center, so where I'm getting all these leads. And the way I've done it is, I mean, I paid for the shitty leads, the home advisor, the Angie's List,
Yeah.
which take you nowhere. I mean, realistically, I mean, you're probably out of 10, you're probably going to get one, and then they're going to, cry on the price. What I've been doing in my community is I'm shaking hands. I go shake hands, and by shaking hands, I mean, you feel the client's pulse, they feel you, and word is bond. And if you could close them that way, I mean, your leads are, and then if you do quality work, I mean, that one client is going to give you 10 referrals and so on. And that's how I've been successful on building my business.
And that's good, because you're living in kind of like a more metro area than we do down here in Monterey. You're
Correct.
more closer in a metro area. So just like you said, leads, like we hear from other companies that they're in bigger metro areas that they pay for leads a lot. And we've never really had to do that just because the area that we are, but here in where you are, and seeing that shaking a hand, it's still the better way, dude. I mean, that's good. That's good, because that's how we were taught. And I think at the end of the day, is that trust that you build with everyone. And another thing that we always see is you're very consistent in your Instagram and your posting and social media. How do you think that helps a lot? What does it do for you, for your company?
It's helped me tremendously. Yeah, I mean, because it's reaching out to a lot of people. And since like, for example, if I met you today, I'm going to get all your information. I'm going to get your name, your phone number, your email, and then I'm going to start a marketing campaign. So every month, if today's Christmas, Merry Christmas. If tomorrow is your kid's birthday or your birthday, I'm going to wish you a happy birthday, and so on. So now I have you in my database. So every month I send you something, because I know there's a holiday here. There's a holiday for everything.
Yeah,
so
every month. Yeah.
And so this is your CRM probably doing this, right?
Correct. It's my CRM. So when you think of if you think of remodeling, I'm in your head so much that you're forced to call me at least to give you an estimate. So that's how I've managed to grow my business.
That's so marketing definitely,
marketing, and
that's one thing that we normally encourage everyone. Okay, like you have to be in front of the clients, even if it's especially your past
Existing client.
existing or past clients. It's like you have to remind them that you're there. Like you said, if you send them a happy birthday, email, that they're gonna remember you. They're gonna know, and guess what? They're gonna be those times where a client is gonna come and ask for a recommendation or referral, and maybe they forgot about you because I'm like, you know what? We have Frank over here, but I don't know if Frank's still in business.
No,
But
see, and
when Frank is there, Frank is there.
I see a post at least what I see one now. I think almost every day.
Correct.
And
I mean, we're still trying to figure that out. I mean, to make it more professional. But you know what? People like organic. You ever hear the guy Mike Rowe from Dirty Job?
Yes.
I watched his documentary, and what he said was, he goes, "Me building organic videos is what took me to the next level." He goes, "Because people want real people. They don't want edit. They don't want makeup people. They don't want fake actors. They want somebody trial and error, and you record it, and that's what took him to the next level." So I mean, we're still working on that, but I figure in a couple months we'll have it fine tuned, and I mean, it'll take it to the next level.
The one thing I like about what you do is like the whole thing behind your logo, and it's kind of like a funny in a good way, right? It's like the initials, but it what stands for, right? So I'm like, I like that, right? But
I have this broker that gives me a lot of projects, and he goes, "I just been fact."
Yeah, right. But it's and so every time I see that, but hey, everyone that sees it like, oh, and now it became funny. Now it just became a thing, Now it's not Frank. Now it's just this whole thing, And so we see that every day, and I think that's very important because I really don't think that people use that enough. These tools that we have, the internet, like back in our days when we started painting. I mean, when did we have a phone? Like when did we take pictures of a job? I mean, we didn't have one, anyways.
Even when we started taking pictures and videos, I was embarrassed, to be honest. I was embarrassed at first, to pull my phone and then like record, and I can see the guys, next to me, like looking at me like, what is he doing? Like, what's he recording? Like they're sanding, they're painting, what are you gonna record for? Now we're like, I don't give a shit.
Now we walk into a job. If we even put this into our contract, the a release form saying, hey, this is what we do in our business, and we want everyone to be informed. We're not going to be disrespectful and not going to show anything private. If you don't like it, then we won't do it. But that creates already that atmosphere, that culture. So most of the people after your clients are going to be like, oh yeah, it's fine. Do this. Most of them will be okay with it. And we show the process, we show what we do. So so we walked into a job, right? And some of the times the clients will be like, oh, so who are you sending? We're like, oh, we're sending Pedro. Oh my God, I love Pedro. They've never met Pedro, but they see him. They see him doing the job, doing the work, and this shop's like, oh my God, I feel like I already know you.
They go like,
it's just the power of social media. And it's free. Yeah. So we want some people, we want our contractors to do it. Why not? Practice, just do something that is unique to you and just go for it every day, And so that covers the social media. And I wanted to do that because I know you do that. And I know in a metro area, it's big. It's going to be big because people, word of mouth can only take you around a neighborhood.
Correct.
This year will take you all over the world
to the next level.
And now, and like you said, like from social media now with ChatGPT and AI, it's like now we have to adapt to that whole new change. Because if you don't adapt now, if you're stubborn in your old ways and like, oh, we don't need that. The younger generation that are just getting their licenses now, they're going to be up so far on game on that just alone, and it's going to blow you out of the water. It's just because everything's digital and you can't compete because you're like, bro, I just rather stay in the trades and be the all hats. No, you got to adapt to the change or you get left behind.
Those AI, like, God, that thing is getting big, man. And you can do, I was just reading this thing the other day. You can actually get the app and just tell them, write this essay and stuff, and it'll write it based on whatever you tell them. It'll give you a whole page, like quick. And just a couple little hints you got to give them, and it does it. I'm like, dude, where are we gonna go with this?
Technology,
You know,
right?
we're so social media and everything. I think for us, so the old school people are still like, oh, why do I have to be in social media?
Or like,
We
I don't, or they're like, I don't need it. You know,
before,
I
if
already
you
have
weren't in the
clients.
yellow pages, your business didn't exist, right? That's our school stuff, right?
See,
But now, if you're not on Google or on social media, you don't exist.
Correct.
So it's the new yellow pages. It's just on steroids, but it's the new yellow pages.
Yeah.
So it's good, and you can show everything day in, day out. So, what do you think at this time in your business? What do you think is your biggest challenge right now?
My biggest challenge right now is adapting to this change. But for example, what I'm doing now is so my main goal is, I mean, everybody has their whys, but my main goal right now is to build a brand like Coca-Cola.
Yes,
So
sir.
like when you think of remodeling, you're gonna think of me. That's my goal. I mean, I don't want a franchise, but I want to. So my goal is to build generational wealth by building a brand. So I'm taking my face off of my company's image and building a brand. So I'm out there so much advertising on social media, on billboards. So when you think of remodeling, eventually most of the leads are, I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them, but I mean, because we're doing the algorithm and checking everyone, all the contractors
Oh,
are
nice.
doing all this stuff
Mhm.
in our area, and people are not doing Instagram, social media, like you said, and their websites. And so it's like we're far up there compared to like we just started doing this program 6 months ago, and these guys, the guys that have been doing it for 10 years and paying for paper clips and all that,
Yeah.
we already caught up to them organically.
yes.
Mhm.
I mean, because if you, I mean, you know, if you pay for paper clips, I mean, like you're from $10 to $30 a click, and your money
Yeah.
can get wiped out real quick. Compared to if you plant that seed and become organically, I mean, it's a game, it's a long game, not a short game. So, and you got to understand, and that's where I'm at. I mean, I get frustrated because I'm not where I want to be, but I got to
Uh-huh.
understand again, I'm building a 40, 50-year-old company that
Yes, sir.
eventually, if you, I mean, for example, if no one's going to inherit it into your families, then you got to build equity in your company where you're like, your track record says, bro, I'm doing $10 million a year. I could sell my equity in my company and just cash out because I built that brand. I have the
That's right.
system and I
Yeah.
have my database.
Yes.
Yeah, see, and that's important. See, that's words that we don't hear enough from contractors and painters is that, you know, most painters and contractors are still thinking like
The
I just
craftsman, yeah.
the craftsmanship, you know, and that's good. You know, they're so still worried about, you know, them carrying the tools and doing the work. But hey, you know, but then you get to a point, and we've been seeing that in our area where see all these old timers and they've been doing this for 40 plus years, and they want to get out of the business, but they have nothing to sell, you
They
know.
want to sell. They want to
Eh,
sell their business, and it's like, what are you selling? Your tools. I'm like,
you know,
I
and
like. First
they're
of all, I
all
don't need your
tools, you
tools.
know.
Yeah, they're all.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
And so okay, we have the opportunity, we see that, so it's up to us to adapt. What we're doing right now with social media and all that, it's maybe like a lot of people, they're like, oh no, we're good right now. Yeah, we're good right now, but you know what, we're preparing for tomorrow, because this is where this is going.
Like you
Correct.
Okay.
say, the long game.
Yeah, this is the long
Yeah.
game. This is same in our we're building something, like we're building our name too. You know, we want illusions to be all over. You know, you want to hear painting or you want to hear something unique, illusions, you know, and I think it works for us, but it's all the work that we put behind. I mean, we we don't sleep sometimes just because like I wake up in the middle of the night, I was like,
An
oh,
idea.
dude,
Write it
I
down.
gotta do this, I gotta do this, you
Write it
know.
down before he goes away.
It's not even about painting anymore.
Yeah.
It's about growing the business, becoming the owner of the company and not the painter.
And like you said, branding too. Branding the
Branding.
business.
So that's pretty good, man. I like that. So do you really think, so we talk about your weaknesses, right? What do you think that you can do better right now in your business as we see? Because then I'm glad we're just touching about like, you know, the image and the branding. And I think you're doing such a great job with that. Do you see yourselves expanding that, or why the main reason? You're saying you want to build something that's going to be sustainable. do you want that to be like you kind of want to step away from the business and let the business run itself? Is that what your goal is?
That's the goal. I mean, but for example, so I do want to expand. So first I gotta, I mean, to expand, we gotta build the right system. And once you get that system in place, then you can expand. Because if you don't have that system, then you're just gonna run into hiccups. What I've done, I've many hiccups over and over for the last 4 years. I've been doing errors after errors. But so now we dialed it down to build the proper system so we can implement it and move to San Francisco, move to San Diego. So now we have a branch in whole California is my goal. But I mean, it's just taking longer. It's trial and error. And but as long as you have that vision and write things down, like you guys said, I mean, it will happen. Like I mean, for example, I know Monterey is I mean, it has great places, but if you guys want to grow your business, I mean, realistically, you just have to set up shop, put a little office somewhere in a different area, interview a couple guys, and boom, you just, I mean, it only takes 2, 3 guys to build. And then once that work is coming in, then you grow it. I mean, you just water it, and it grows. And I mean, and that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, I'm planting my seeds in San Diego, San Francisco, where I want to be. And it's just slowly and slowly chipping at it. I know I see the vision, so I know I have to chip at it. It's not going to be an overnight success, but I calculate within the next 4 years, I mean, those outfits will be there.
Nice. No, I've heard. I mean, I even seen you do stuff, across the border too, so I see you. I see where you've been. I see you where
I'm,
you've been.
I mean, you have to. I
International.
mean, here's the thing. Being Mexican, yeah, I mean, I'm Mexican 100%. Yeah, I mean, I love beans. I mean, I love beans and rice and tortillas and hot sauce.
Flour tortillas.
Okay.
But for example, like, where are we gonna, like? I mean, you see the people retired. I mean, in that are not contractors, and even Americans, and in every culture in the United States, it's hard to retire out here. So
Yes.
my long game, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna become a developer in Mexico where I have my business license out there, and sell homes. I mean, as a developer out there, right here, it's just harder to do it out here. But if you meet the right people and you're in the right room, I mean, those people could be in front of you, and you never know what outcome they would have.
You know what, but I think the more I hear, what you're talking about is you have a mindset. And I think that that's more important than a lot of things because you know what you want. You have set yourself, so now you just gotta find the ways.
And the vision, and you
Right?
have
You
the
have the
vision.
vision, the mindset's there. And like you said, you can be in a room, and when you have the mindset and that vision, you are constantly supervising and seeing where that's going to come from. And I think that's very important because if you don't have the vision or that mindset, the opportunities will be hitting you on your forehead and you won't see them. You can't appreciate them because you're not there at that point. And I think sometimes, when we are so caught up with work and being busy, we don't have the time to do that. And so that is, I think, over than anything, that's what you have that just surpasses a lot of other contractors. Would you agree on that?
Yeah, I'm not that older, but but to tell you, but you're right. I mean, the mindset is investing in yourself. Is you have to. You like you. I mean, like you guys go to conferences. I go to conferences, and you
Yeah.
have to because you have to expand. You have to see what's out there. More doors open, and you got to never stop educating yourself. I mean, if you stop educating yourself, you stop growing, and then you start dying. And then if you want to grow, I mean, we're naturally born to become 100 years old. So I mean, if we're 50, fuck,
Yeah,
we're
100.
50. I mean, realistically, we're supposed to live to be 100. I
Okay.
mean, and you could, for example, if you have a bad habit and you kill your lungs, but your brain is still alive for 100, it's going to be life is going to be hard for you.
Yeah.
But I mean, and like you said, if you don't have the right mindset and in the right places, in the right rooms, then yeah, you're going to get left behind, and you're not going to pursue your dreams because you don't take care of yourself right.
Oh. So are you involved with like organizations there and stuff? I mean, it's a little different than painting, But are
Like
you
like
are you
BNI or
involved
any
like
of those?
BNI or any of that, or what do you?
You know, I'm in it's called Real Producers. It's a magazine for real estate brokers and loan officers and all that stuff. But not really. It's I've just traveled a lot and then just got coaching,
Oh,
and then
nice.
just a lot of educational books. Even though I don't like to read, and here's I've seen your guys' comment about reading. I hate reading. I mean,
I don't read.
I'm real slow. I'm real slow in reading, but
Yeah.
the podcast and the YouTube University is just a crash course.
Yes,
I
sir.
mean, there's this one guy out of LA that hopefully you guys get to reach out to him and interview him. I think his name's Javier, but I don't. He's Mexican dude. It's from Next Gen AC, and he's a AC contractor.
Okay.
And this cat is 35 years old. He's killing the game, man. He's different level. He says he's never read a book in his life,
Huh.
and he's doing
Yeah.
and he's doing 100 million a year, and he's 35-year-old Mexican dude,
Damn.
bro.
You know, let me tell you, I've never read a whole book other than my textbooks in high school, right? That little bit of high school I went to, but we got introduced to reading, but listening to
Listen,
books.
audible.
You know, I and that because how many times, especially us, you know, us contractors, we spend a lot of time in our cars,
Driving around.
going here, going there. And so I got to a point where like I don't even want to listen to music. What am I gonna listen to? The whole Hoompa Loompa every day? I'm like, nah, I need a
listening
break
to the
from that.
radio stuff. Yeah.
Mr. Snoop Doggy Dog, I give him a little break. But we started listening to books, and
And podcast too.
God, let me tell you,
Eye opener, right?
it just to me it has really like changed perspective on how I see things. You know what I really I think that what really makes you understand that all these struggles that we're going through, someone has gone through them already. And someone has figured it out already. We're not special like we think sometimes, you know. And by taking that and being humble enough to read those or listen to them, things click and you're like, oh wow, that's how you do it. That's why our profit system or our money system here in the company, we built it out of a book. You know, it's called Profit First. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but just because of those ideas, that's how we implement it here, and that's how it's been working for us. So at the end of the day, you know, we read like, you know, the
Listen.
oh,
We listen
listen,
to
yeah,
books. We don't read.
dang it. It's the same thing, right? You get in the communication one way or another. And so for us, it's done. And then everybody's unique in their own way, you know. But I just think that it's the more you educate yourself and the more you keep learning, it's the best way we can. It's going to be the best for our business
investing in
and for us.
ourselves.
You're
Yeah.
investing in yourself and your personal growth. So with this in mind, I know you're already saying like you want to grow and you have different you know, offices
Or branch.
or branches. So are you planning to do this like with virtual people, or are you trying to plan like having just like a crew or like a foreman, a supervisor? How's your plan on that?
I mean, so the way I planned it is, yeah, I mean, I'm putting money aside for the company, which I can afford to invest. Say, for example, if this journey is going to take me 3 to 4 months, I got to understand that I have to open an office. I got to send somebody out there. There's going to be no money coming in for the first 6 months. So that investment is there, but you plant that seed and it's eventually going to grow. What I've done lately is I've been going to meetups in LA, San Diego, San Francisco, meeting realtors, meeting brokers, meeting tradesmen, and then just planting that seed and shaking hands and keeping their information. So when I do get a project, I mean, I already can delegate it, have somebody to work it, and go from there. And yeah.
So you say meetups. What are exactly those?
Meetups. I mean, if you there's a thing called meetups on Google.
Okay.
It's where it's like, so I go to a lot of real estate meetups,
Mhm.
and that's where I meet investors, I meet realtors, brokers, people that lend money, and they're I mean pretty much in every community. and you just go to there and just introduce yourself, tell them what you do. And,
So anyone can go. You just basically register. So you
correct.
say it's called Meetups, and this is on Google.
Yeah, just look up meetups around me. Look up real estate meetups around me, and you're gonna
Okay.
find realtors,
We'll put that in.
investors. Yeah, I mean it's helped me out dramatically. I mean, my biggest goal this year is to shake 1,000 hands. I
Oh,
mean,
shoot. You bit me to it because I was gonna ask you like what are the goals, but you,
I mean
1,000 hands.
that it's simple. Yeah, I mean I'm not spending no money. It's just shaking your hand. I mean, to me that's a win. If you're doing 5 to 10 a day, I mean the long game is going to be there because I mean they know your presence and you're your own salesman. I mean, why am I?
Honestly, the more I hear about you is that handshaking, man, that's respectful because you can do a lot of other things, but that handshake, like you said, that is personal.
I mean, you figure they got beaten into me as a child. I mean, we're from Mexico. It's like, oh, la palabra, the handshake, con ese hacemos el contrato. And it's like, from there, it's like, bro, it's always been there. Bring it back and do it. I mean, and be out there in the community and give back. And that handshake is going to take you further than any Angie's List or any other person that is trying to get you your money.
I mean, you use the digital part, but you still keeping the human touch. You know, this is how we do business. You know.
I mean, I do the marketing and all that stuff, but I don't pay for leads for nothing. I've been paid for leads in the last 3 years. I mean, just because I've had bad experience. Like it's like, I mean, it's so disappointing. It's like there has to be another way. I mean, there has to be another way, and that's when I started going to meetups. And I mean, talking to realtors. I mean, just like, for example, just the phone book or Google, you look at all the local realtors, all the local brokers, call them and say, hey, I'm a painter or I'm a builder. I mean, do you need me to do anything for you? I mean, you figure you got somebody in the office, just for example, have him get a list of all the realtors, all the brokers in Monterey County. Anyway, start cold calling. Call these guys, introduce yourself. Hey, I'm a realtor in this area. I mean, I'm a painter in this area. I mean, if you don't have anything now, just keep me in mind. And then can I have your information? And then you put them in your database. And every month, send that email. Merry Christmas, happy birthday, and boom. And then that's how you build your organic lead. So in the future, you build so you have this big database. That's your equity. So your equity, you could sell it. I mean, because you have 2,000 people that are clients, official clients, and it shows on your track record that these are my clients. This is how much I'm making a year, and that's how you could sell the company, or I mean, or get a equity partner just because your money. I mean, like for example, I used to do a lot of real estate. I used to buy and flip houses. It just took so much energy out of me that it's like, bro, my company is my biggest equity.
Yes.
I mean, okay, houses, the prices go up, they go down. The company has the biggest equity in real estate. So I was like, Patrick McDavid said it the best. He goes, my business is business. He goes, my business is not buying houses, buying this. He goes, I'm focused in my business. And that's going to bring me in the long run. That's going to bring me the biggest equity and the biggest return on my money than anything else.
But you got to build it. You got to build the systems. You got to educate yourself and create something. You know, we go back to the books and refer to the books, is you build a franchise style business.
Oh, there you go.
Right, a franchise model. Why? Because now it repeats itself and it works on its own.
It'll repeat anywhere you go. San Francisco, LA, San Diego, anywhere. Yeah.
Pretty much.
You agree on that?
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, there you go. I mean, because you figure, Mexico in 2050 is going to have the 7th largest economy in the world. I mean, right now it's probably 14 or 15, but I mean, you're thinking, oh, in 2050 is a long time. Yeah, it might be a long time, but your kids are going to be at that age, your grandkids. And if you're trying to build generational wealth, you gotta, I mean, again, it's the long game. I mean, like the Rothschilds and all those guys,
there you go.
They played the long game. They planted the right seeds. They got the right mentors, and that's the only way. I mean, why can't we do it? I mean, it's the land of opportunity here, man. You can do whatever you want.
Watch out, man. That's
Frank.
man, Frank. Yeah, seriously, that's what inspires us. That's the kind of things that, like, for us, it's like, man, like I can see that, and it's not just us. It's so much people out there. Just la verdad, nuestros comunidad hispana a veces they don't think big, no piensan en hacerlo. They're like, no, pero eso es para alguna otra persona, o eso es para alguien más, not for me. No, it's for everybody,
Correct.
right?
No, no.
It's for everybody. So, it's so great to hear that from you. So then notebooks for you. So what do you say other than your meetups, where do you get most of your education then from?
My
YouTube?
education, my
Yeah, you're constant. Hey,
my education. Well,
you
I mean, you figure I follow, like, if I want to become great, I follow the great people. I mean, my biggest mentor, I think, is Henry Ford. Just because, just because the way it's better to, like, for example, yeah, we all want to make a profit, but if you ain't got the systems in place and it's all work, it's better to, what? Let's take 2 months off. Let's get a little bit of work where we can keep our guys floating, and let's us educate ourselves and see and start implementing systems and practice on how to become a better person individually first, and then that way when you're in with the right mindset, then your company is all going to fall together. It's slowly and surely. It's not overnight. It's going to fall together for you, where you're going to see it in 10 years, where you're like, I'm never at my company. It runs itself, because it took me 10 years to plant this seed, and now it's flowering, where I'm older and I can benefit the ridges.
Well, they say that you're and one thing I wanted to add about, like, Henry Ford, this guy started in his 40s, so he wasn't young. We're not young anymore, but now I guess we got more of the wisdom, which is like, it's great. And then I think the way we look at our company is like looking at our kids. Okay, if you put the right energy and the right time and the right culture into it, it's gonna bloom and flower, and it's gonna run on its own, just like our kids. But if you don't take the time and don't do what you need to do, it's never gonna do it. It's
Oh
just
yeah,
like, it's just what you put in that you are gonna receive after.
And that's
So
investing in the
that's
business,
investing.
investing
That's
in
all the
ourselves.
work. So the people
Yeah.
who wanna, like, send a book, if you want to kill your little soldiers, then guess what? You're gonna go to war and you're gonna lose.
correct,
And
correct.
so now for us is these are our little soldiers. These are gonna back up. So when we go to war, they're gonna carry us through.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
And it's funny, when I did meet you, Juan. I remember I used to work for this company. I'm not going to say their names, but I mean, the company owner, like, seen my potential, but always held me back. It's like,
yeah.
I was like, bro, yeah, I got a big vision. Why would you hold me back compared to you? I'm here. Like, what I have for my company is I build a culture where when I was an employee, I used to hate going to work, even though I love my trade. Like, I love building. I loved it, but the guy that ran the business was just like, it drained my whole life. And it's like, why am I here? So I ventured out into my own, a lot of trial and error. But now I have that culture where when I walk into a job site, my employees love me. I pay well. I buy them lunch once a week. I keep them uniformed. It's like, and that's what you want. It's like you want to be appreciated
Yeah.
for the hard work that they give you, and what all and that comes with it. You feel me?
You created a culture.
Yeah.
You created a culture where people feel good. And more than anything, I think one of the greatest things that we don't realize sometimes, but when we create that great culture, we're not a boss. We become a leader to them. And then when they have a boss, they have to respect them. When they have a leader, they respect them naturally,
Heart, yeah.
organically, because you leading them to a bigger spot, or you help them and get to where they need to go, and in return they're doing the same thing for you
And even
and
your
your
clients will
company.
notice that stuff too.
Yeah, your clients will know that, and I think that's very appreciated. Your clients will be like, my God, like, I
You guys
love
are
you
so
guys.
professionals, and a lot of stuff that they talk about you guys, and it's like, that's what we want to hear, right, from our clients.
That's
Correct.
good, man.
No, I mean you. I mean, for example, you want to stand out from the competition. It's
Yeah.
that I mean the like train your guys right to yes ma'am, yes sir. I mean, give them scripts where I mean they know how to answer to a client compared to it's like for example, I charge a hefty price now I do, but for example, before where now I have one of my guys has to speak English, and the
Yeah.
clients what distinguishes you from the other contractors is because we're polite, we're educated, we all speak the language. You could communicate with my foreman, and everything is done to the standard price that I charge, and that's what sticks me out from the competition.
And that's good because see, for the longest time, I felt personally that I couldn't charge more, and I undersold myself, and it wasn't much that I didn't think that I was of being cheap, but it was like I didn't feel that I give enough value for what we do. And now that we created certain, like you said, we created the systems, we have the right guys, we have our project manager, and we have all these things now. Like, look, this is all. We just sell you
The finished product.
the finished product and the systems and the experience, and
Right.
they don't complain. They don't complain because a lot of people, they want this, and you want those clients. You don't want the clients that want, they're looking for the cheaper job. You're gonna weed those out right away because they're not for you. They can't afford you, basically. It's like
Correct.
either you want to go buy a Honda or you're gonna buy a Mercedes. Same car, much big difference. Big money difference, and that's what we're here for. But that's why this constant education, this constant growing, and then just building into the business really has a lot to say. Do you have anything that you think that you would have, and this is mainly for people who are
Starting probably.
this is geared more to people who are getting started, who are scared of taking that step to do certain
The
things,
leap
how
of
to get
faith, yeah.
started, the leap of faith. What would you do different if you were to start your business now?
If I would have started my business differently right now, I mean, I would have got me a mentor earlier. I mean, a mentor
Coach.
because I mean we're raised with teachers and guidance and counselors and all that, but I mean the right mentor is very hard. And for any young person or any newcomer that's starting into the business, is copy and paste who you want to be like, but you know what? At the same time, interview that guy. Take him out to lunch. Say, hey, let me buy you lunch. Let me go on a ride with you, or let's meet up for coffee. Can I ask you a couple questions? And finding the right mentor. I mean, at the same time, it's a potential future client or a business partner or just a great mentor. I mean, I think mentors are real. It's a real big important thing in your life, like for example, yeah, you guys athletes. I mean, athletes. Everybody that's a profession, actors, athletes, they all have coaches. I mean, they all know when to play them. So you figure the high performers in life today have coaches. Why shouldn't us? I mean,
Exactly.
and that's how it starts. I mean, and he's going to help you out by just putting a business plan together to feed you ideas, to make you become a better person and have you grow into a business owner.
Wow. See, yeah, then instead of
Very
worrying
wise.
about, what tool you're gonna buy and everything, implement the tools that are gonna help your mind grow, right? I mean,
Correct.
first, so have a business mentality if you're gonna go into business.
Right. I
You
mean,
think
I've
that you
had
develop that after, right?
correct. I mean, here's the thing. You can be financially rich, but if you ain't mentally and physically rich, then you're not really rich.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and so you got to see that me. I mean, I'm mentally and physically rich. Financially is a different thing.
We're working on it. We're working on it. There you
That's all.
go.
That's all coming. You feel me? I mean, it's just. I mean, if your mind ain't right and your heart and your health ain't right, then everything else you don't need it. I mean, it doesn't. It does you no purpose.
Man, see, you're gonna be an inspiration for a lot of people right now, man,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of people.
Inspiring us, for
No,
sure.
I'm telling you, I think that at least for us or for me, before we started in this little journey here, like what took me, I mean, we went in business for 12 years. I was in business for 12 years before I got a hold of the PC8 and I found out about the PC8. So after I did that, just every time I heard a podcast or heard a company or heard someone just talk about what they're doing and how they're doing it and hearing the struggle, so it's like I can do that too. Like I can do that. So when people hear you, they can relate because they're like,
We're
holy
gonna copy and
crap.
paste, like you said,
Yeah,
right?
copy and paste.
There you
You
go.
see,
You
you
have
don't
to.
realize, but you are a mentor at this time.
Yeah.
You know, you are a mentor to your guys. You're a mentor. You're gonna be, hopefully, you're gonna be a mentor to all of our like 5 listeners across the country.
No,
So hey, there we go, or maybe 10.
we have more than 5.
No, I mean it could be 1 or 2, and that's fine. But you figure the algorithm. You feel me? When they look up your name, they're gonna see your track record right now. Like in 10 years, 15 years, you guys are gonna have a whole history of podcasts, and where people are gonna come back and look at all that. Because I mean, whoever I follow, I go back to 2-3 years to see what his mentality was, and then just and write things down and implement and see how it fits into my lifestyle, and then just use that. I mean, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel or anything. What I'm doing is what the greats do is just copy and paste. They copied and paste their ancestors. I'm doing the same thing. And it's just going to make your journey a lot easier compared to bumping your heads over and over if the strategy already exists. Just, I mean,
Wow. Dude, exactly. You know what? I honestly, I really think, you know, you're in a great place right now. You know, you're in a place where you just conquering, you just following, and you just going for your dreams, and that we really wish for a lot of guys who are in our position. Sadly, you know, the statistics are very low on people who are successful in their businesses. You know, and
correct.
this helps these people who have the itch but they don't know how to just say, oh dude, I listened to this, now I can go push it. So I guess at the end of the
I
day,
bet you a lot of people are gonna be like, you know what?
yeah,
Maybe I need to get a coach, right?
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
If I want to perform, if I want to succeed, I have to get a coach. And yeah, definitely, that's really, I really love that part.
I had one bad experience with the coach, right? So I'll tell you this. Like the guy was charging me $2,000 a month, and I was like, I need the coach. I mean, this was because I've had mentors, but it was like I need to hire a coach just to take it to that next level. And he's like, so what's your goals by the next year? I go like, bro, I'm struggling to hit these numbers. I want to be at 5 and 10 and no less. And he's like, oh, you're thinking too big. And,
That was
and
the
then
wrong coach.
in my head, I said, man, after we get off this Zoom, I'm gonna fire this guy because he's never seen those numbers. And I go, I got the wrong coach. I go, if this guy doesn't can never felt this money come into his life and able to work these strategies to become that successful, it's the wrong person.
Yeah.
And I mean, I just told him, I hung up and I said, bro, you're fired. Get out of my life.
So how okay, so I mean, for anyone out there looking for a coach, what would you say is the best way to find one?
I mean,
Google?
the way I would do it is like, I mean, you guys are killing it. If I'm a junior painter and I want to become a successful painter like you guys, I would reach out to you. I would reach out to the big brands that are out there and say, you know what, let me buy this guy lunch. Let me interview him. And here's the thing: as we get older, we want to coach people. We want to. I mean, we want to give them our trial and errors. And that's we're just giving back to society that gave us the means to become successful and put us in our place as where we're at now. Because we live off the community. The community feeds our companies. So we have to do our own community service. And if somebody says, hey man, let me take you out to lunch, pick your brain, bro, bring it. I'll buy you lunch. I don't care. I mean, just to give that education that we didn't get. And we had to do all these trial and errors and all this traveling to plant that seed. And you never know, this younger guy that you gave all this information might be a potential equity buyer of your company someday, or a partner. You never know.
So will you say you're open to, if anyone is interested in reaching out to you, will you be open into taking a call or message anyone that's interested in asking you a personal question, a business question?
Oh, most definitely. And here's the thing. Like I tell you guys, I'm trying to build generational wealth and make a 50-year-old company where there's a lot of equity and whatnot. So what we're doing right now is we're becoming to stand out from the clients or my potential
Competitive.
competition. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're becoming an educational platform. So becoming an educational platform is I want to be the encyclopedia of remodeling. So so when I come to your house, I have so much information for you that you're like how this guy sticks out way more than the competition that just came with a nice shirt and a notepad. This guy had so now what we're doing, we're working on our book. So when I come to your house, even though the books are going to be outdated and nobody's going to buy books or whatnot in the future, but if I come to your house and I give you a pamphlet of how to remodel your home, I'm going to stick out.
Yeah.
I mean, and like for example, if you guys, I don't know if you guys do it now, but if you have in the works a pamphlet or all questions to ask your painter, colors, schemes, just everything. Fuck, you're bringing an educational platform to your client, and that's what's going to stick you out from the competition. And that's what I'm offering service, education, and quality work. And and you're always going to be on top just because of that.
The experience, yeah.
The experience you're giving your client.
Correct. For example, like you said, Mercedes, you go to Mercedes, they sit you down on a couch, they bring you a champagne,
Yes.
cater to you because they're going to lock you in. They're going to lock you
exactly.
Yeah.
in. And you figure you lock one client in, he's going to bring in 10 more, and it just grows.
That's true. You know, that is very true. You're not walking in there, so you don't walk into a Mercedes dealership and just like, oh, maybe not. Most likely, just because of experience, you're gonna walk out of there with the car.
Correct.
So when they have that experience, you walk out of the house, and there might be a couple other people, but the experience you give them, they're like, I don't care. That's my guy.
Correct.
And wow, that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, I honestly, you gave us a very, very interesting podcast today, man. I thank you so much for sharing, you know, what you're doing and how you're doing things. So I always I like to ask this, and then they kind of starting to become something about like a challenge, you know.
Yeah.
And you already kind of say about your challenge about shaking 1,000 hands, you know. I want to make sure that by the end of the year, and I want to check with a couple of us at the end of the year, where we at with that challenge. I maybe want to do something and kind of like a gather of what we've done, and I want to see where we got with those challenges. So what do you think is your challenge by the end of the year? Is it going to be the shaking hand, or you have another challenge that I'm going to come and hold you to it? So by the end of the year, I'm going to hit you up.
Here's the thing. I'm dedicated to getting these 1,000 hands. Yeah, I'm probably like at 500 right now.
Oh, wow.
So
That's not bad.
So I just moved into a commercial building.
Okay.
And this building probably holds, I don't know, probably like 2,000 people, lawyers and attorneys and whatnot.
Oh,
and I'm in the elevator just handing cards, bro.
Yeah, I think you're gonna reach your target
sooner.
But you figure out that you got to see that vision. It's like how can I get myself in front of more clients without traveling? It's like, yeah, you move into a skyriser and you're gonna run into them in the elevator, and it's you're going to work at the same time you're closing deals.
Yes,
and you're doing things with a purpose. Yeah, more than anything, you didn't just move into the place. You moved into the place for a reason.
For a reason, yes.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. And like I just got a couple projects here, and it's paid my whole year for my office. So it's like it's a free office, and now I'm just shaking more hands.
Okay.
There you go.
So by the end of the year, we're gonna talk about how many hands you shake.
It's gonna be 1,000 plus.
I know it's gonna be 1,000 plus for sure. We have some very interesting challenges now, so we gotta come up with our challenge because
what is your guys' challenge? What is it?
God, I don't know. We have Oliver here in the office, and he's always like, "You guys are everywhere." So I don't know. We ask everyone, but they don't ask us.
No, but the smallest challenge actually, and this was when we asked Brittany from Phoenix, the Phoenix area, and she said that she took a challenge, a 100-day challenge, and I'm like, let's start with something small, and I'm like, okay, I'll take on that, right? because she said like she took this challenge where she's gonna post, one post every day, at least one post. And I'm like, you know what? I'll take that.
one.
And it's like, man, sometimes it's hard because it's like, you know what? Sometimes it's like, maybe I don't do it today. I mean, I don't have time. But I'm like, no, you have to make the time. You have to make the time. So even if it's something small, I think that's already
It's just a challenge. You know,
yeah.
it's just as
Right.
long if you can stick it, that's what it is. It doesn't have to be a very big one. It's just you have to follow through.
For him, was drinking water, but he drinks like 90% water.
I drink water with alcohol because alcohol helps purify the water, right? No,
There you go.
maybe something like that, right? No,
He drinks like 90% water, 10% alcohol.
no, but thank you. Hey, so anything you'd like to say, man? I mean, before we go, just whatever comes out of you. I mean, why you thought about this, anything.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm a big fan of your guys' work. I mean, you guys do quality work. And what you guys are doing with the podcast, man, it's congratulations to you guys on your hard work and your dedication. And it's just going to open a lot of doors. I appreciate you guys having me on your podcast, and I look forward to keeping in touch and seeing how, in the future, how we can work together. And if anything, give me a call. If you guys, if you have anyone that wants to reach out to me, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
You know.
Same thing, for work, for everything. We're around here and we can communicate. We're not direct, we're not even direct, competition anyways. You're in a whole different level. But if there's anything, we're always here. And that's the whole thing. Just creating that community, make it bigger and bigger and bigger. So
yeah, most definitely. And if you guys ever want to grow to Santa Clara, I mean, you never know. Plant that seed.
We're gonna take you.
well, we're gonna have to take you to lunch one of these days. So expect the call. Expect the call. Hey, bro. Thank you so much, Frank. You're an awesome dude, man. Thank you so much. I know we're gonna be in contact. I'm gonna keep you to that challenge, and then we'll be in touch, man. Thank you so much, my brother.
Most definitely, Jose, Juan. God bless you guys and enjoy the journey, brothers.
Thank you so much, Frank.
Peace, man.
Thank you.
All right.
Los Pintores.